And after spending several days revoking that unauthorization of this commentary, we are back with more Zero Mission.
Hyper voice acting has been court-martialed.
No, you're unauthorized to make any more unauthorizations on this commentary, mister.
I would love if Samus just got sassy with that and was like, you know what, I don't authorize that authorization. Oh gosh.
So yeah, we got ourselves another mini-boss.
What is
and,
yeah?
I don't know, I guess it's the... you know what, I could go that way, but at the same time, I'm feeling generous. I don't want to feel like I'm just pulling random names out of my ass, so we're just gonna go with a weird space,
oh gosh, lava.
Zebesian sandworm, acid worm, I guess.
Freaking leech thingy, oh gosh.
But yeah, this is really all it does.
Oh. Whoa.
It's really no threat unless it starts, like, I think at worst it just gets faster and faster, and oh god, and then there's instances like that where you can accidentally jump off the thing and jump right to the acid path.
Elevator. Okay, so you shoot the thing, so you shoot the buttons to call the elevator.
Mm-hmm. If you need to, anyway.
One other thing I will say, in terms of Samus, I started this thought process and this thought train in the last episode, but I was talking about other iterations of Samus I love her manga interpretation.
Her
where
what?
The Japanese manga where she's just this weird doofus dork who just likes round things, including being in Mothball all the time.
Oh, that must have been like one of the more, well.
It was a comedy. It was a comedy kind of thing, basically.
That's fair.
I'll show it to you one time. They just outright depict Samus being way more cutesy.
That's fair. It might have been like, I think it might have been one of the older mangas, because the one adaptation I'm familiar with is the one that's just simply called Metroid.
Right, where they go the full like series route.
Mm-hmm. Though I'm also aware that there was actually another Metroid comic that was released around the same time as Metroid Prime. I'm not sure if it's the same one I'm thinking of, but it's like one of those. Let's make this story about one of gaming's most iconic IPs, and add a random boy character or whatever to be like the center focus of it.
What?
You know, kind of like Chris Thorndike or whoever that kid was from the Goemon anime. Yeah, something like that.
Why did they add him? What did he do? What did he add?
Beats the fuck out of me. All I know is that it exists.
Okay, didn't really need it. Like, I know some of the characters, but like that I. Okay.
Trust me, I don't get it either. Like, I mean, it's just the thing that happened. They thought it was such a good idea to do it at the time, and then they realized, oh wait, maybe not. And that's why they made the more tonally approved Metroid manga several years later, I guess.
Cool. Hype, what are your thoughts on Chris Thorndike?
I'm sorry, I thought I was court-martialed to shut my devil damn mouth.
No, it was the court-martialing of making unauthorized authorization.
I said you were unauthorized to make any more unauthorizations, mister. That doesn't mean you're completely unauthorized to commentate.
Court-martial doesn't... Sorry.
Alright. Chris exists.
I need a speed boost.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's another thing that Zero Mission adds to this Metroid 1 mythos, the speed booster.
From Super Metroid... Yep.
Honestly, I can't think of any major Super Metroid items that don't return for Zero Mission, with the exception of the X-ray beam and the grapple damage. Yeah, that doesn't come back either.
So I remember watching Sonic X, like all of it actually, and like
Same.
I don't think Chris Thorndike was horrible, toxic, or like just annoying.
He was just kind of. Oh yeah, Metroid likes to pull this shit every once in a while. What may seem like a hazard is actually just another entrance.
But I will say that just like he felt like just a product of like, we need something to force the plot along, so might as well. And I see that.
Or make some sort of random connection to the audience, which, I mean, let's be fair, that doesn't always work.
That was supposed to be Sonic. Sonic was supposed to be our connection.
I would say for the most part, I find him perfectly harmless. It's when it gets to moments where he kind of interferes in moments that he's not necessary. Like, for example, I think one of the biggest offenders I can think of is the Sonic Adventure 2 adaptation, where at the end, where Shadow's being convinced to go help Sonic. In the original game, that was Amy that did that, but in Sonic X, they made it so that Chris does that.
which is supposed to be Amy's like whole big like
And remember when Tails was supposed to be Sonic's best friend?
another unknown item.
This just gets more peculiar and peculiar the more I find them. Hey, at the same time, at least they still open up these glowy block thingies, so at least they're not completely pointless.
You're keeping up, Sealy.
Barely.
But I will say, like, I just think the biggest issue was that, okay, oh jeez.
Oh, what luck.
I think the biggest issue with Chris is that, like, here's the thing. If they want to have it be like, oh, it's our big connection to Sonic, cool. But, like, here's the thing. A lot of people, the idea is that a lot of people wanted to be like Sonic. He was cool. I don't think a lot of people wanted to be the geeky Sonic fanboy, which is what they were trying to think.
Yeah.
There's a difference between wanting to be like Sonic and
granted,
there's a...
I mean, granted, the whole thing of them wanting to be the young child of a freaking millionaire family is another thing.
Well, that's the thing, is like we can't connect with that because that's clearly a different. That's also the thing I love with like they realized, crap, Sonic has to go fast. So this person has to be able to keep up with him and use vehicles and have a giant flight hangar. Crap, this person has to have like $1 million trillion bucks. Crap, we gotta make this kid a millionaire.
And yet we have a movie coming out where he teams up with a police officer.
Who's played by Cyclops in the original X-Men trilogy.
That I am still interested to see where that's gonna go.
Me too,
Considering that they're
actually.
going with the whole, considering that they're definitely doing the Sonic is in our world trope. Oh,
Well,
by
to be
the way,
fair,
we
that's
are-
kind of a thing they've been
I-
doing since the Adventure 1.
So, all this aside, let's make way for an often overlooked boss. It's Kraid!
Well,
If
time to feed him his lunch. Go, 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 go.
Use the sounds.
oh yeah,
Yep, it's time to feed him a full course of pain.
feed him something spicy.
It was pain!
Oh jeez. And yes, I will say the sound design for some of these creatures are very interesting.
Ouch. This boss fight can be pretty easy, but at the same time, Kraid throws a lot of shit at you that's kind of hard to dodge, so be wary of that.
Shoot him in the face with a charge shot. He'll open his mouth and pop him in the gullet. Also, I've heard some people also describe that he's supposed to be like a space pirate boss, in which, if really supposed to be a big boss kind of character for the mafia or for the gangs, I like to think of Kraid as like the big fat mafiosi, like I'm gonna make him offer.
Okay, great. Now I just have that just mental image in my head. It's like, Sharon, you come to me on the day of my daughter's birthday. I cannot do that voice.
And now I'm trying to imagine what the heck his daughter would look like. He's dead.
By the way, turn on the subtitles. So yeah, there goes Kraid.
And 1/2 of our big boss gauntlet, because back then we only had to care about 2 of them, not 4.
Yep, that's really all you need. But yeah, see you for Super Metroid.
Well, he was almost going to be... Wasn't he? I don't think he was now, but I remember seeing like a leaked photo of like he was almost going to be in a 3D Metroid game, but they stopped it.
He was going to be in Prime.
Yeah, but they removed it, and like there is a render from somewhere.
It still eludes me to this day why they never bothered to include him in like the sequels. It's like, what's really stopping them?
They brought back freaking Fantoon.
Yeah, for Other M.
Maybe they just couldn't find a way to properly incorporate him into whatever kind of story they were making for Primes 2 and 3.
I guess the platform...
He might return in 4, though.
Maybe.
I hope so.
The platforming would be tricky with the whole, with his feet thing, maybe. Anyway, yeah, so, yeah, James, what is the speed booster like?
So,
Oh.
Speed Booster is, well, as you see it, it's
Ooh, giant spark!
Wow.
it's an explosive, supercharged speed boost technique, which can literally pretty much plow through just about anything.
We should also explain that real quick. Like, those quick of eye will notice that, like, right before Samus stopped, she kind of did, like, a weird jettisoning thing. That is the Shine
Those
Spark.
quick sparkers. Yeah, so what is the Shine Spark?
So the Shine Spark is basically, if while you're running, immediately duck, and then you'll charge up that power, and then aim up or whatever, and you just go high into the air.
However, you might want to be cautious because I know this is the case in Super Metroid. I don't know if they retain that for Zero Mission, but in Super Metroid it actually does cost health when you Shine Spark.
which is a thing that only stayed in Super Metroid. Every other game that had
okay.
the Shine Spark does not
Okay,
make you lose health from it.
Well, what about the Shine Spark move or whatever it's called? What about the Shine Spark move that actually lets you regain health? There was something like that in Super Metroid where like you floated in a glowing aura, your suit disappeared, it was just your silhouette, but you gained health.
I forget I don't know how that works exactly. Like, maybe it involves the Shine Spark, but, I mean, I don't know. I really don't know the really big technicals behind Super Metroid, even though I have beaten it once, so I couldn't begin to tell you what that's all about.
But, yes, I will say, okay, the other thing is, can you Shine Spark only up and down, or can you go in any of the 8 directions?
In this game, I've only noticed that you could only do it upwards.
Okay.
There might be a way to do it in a diagonal position, but I don't know how, if it's even possible.
I know you can in Super Metroid.
Oh yeah, Super Metroid you can pretty much Shine Spark in just about any direction, at the cost of some health.
How you doing, Seely?
I'm alright, just tired.
Aw. What type of Metroidvanias have you looked into? I know you're liking what I was showing off of Ori.
God, this is getting too uncomfortable. Ah, fuck.
Oh no!
Let's try that again.
I was about to say, I think the only one you'd probably show interest in is Ori. That's typically Metroidvania.
Yeah,
I can't wait for the sequel.
me too.
That'll be good.
Oh yeah, how do you wall jump in this game?
Okay, so in order to wall jump in this game is first you have to go into it. You pretty much have to run in a or you have to jump in a spinning motion, a la Sonic. Well,
Right.
You know that already.
By jumping upwards.
And then when you're colliding with the wall, immediately press on the opposite direction and then the jump button, and then you'll wall jump.
Okay.
If you can time it just right, you could basically keep doing that and keep doing that and pretty much go very high.
Okay.
Well, I guess you can consider Kirby and the Amazing Bear Metroidvania.
That is
Yeah,
true.
that one could be considered a Metroidvania, even if I would argue it's definitely not the best example I've seen.
It is
That's the
one. It's
only
one I
example
remember.
I can think of.
It's one I remember playing.
You need to play more Metroidvanias, Skilly. You're missing
They're-
out on some good ones.
But they are fun. I enjoyed them. I do like the
I mean, when you stop and think about it, the earlier Shantaes can be considered Metroidvanias.
Pirate's Curse and Risky's Revenge. So you'll see that. Haha.
There you
Not
go.
so much Half Genie Hero, though. That was more straight-up action-adventure.
Yeah.
Yeah, more linear stuff. I'm trying to think of any other ones I could think off the top of my head. Well, of course, there's the
Let's
Castlevania
see.
ones. There's
The Castlevania ones are clearly, well, why else is the genre called Metroidvania?
I still have one plan that I'm wanting to. I still have one plan that I'm looking forward to, which is of what I believe to be one of the most difficult Metroidvanias released on the Wii.
La Mulana?
La Milana by Nigoro. I had to remember. I thought it was Nigoro. It's Nigoro.
One Metroidvania that I played years ago is the Nintendo DS version of Spider-Man Web of Shadows is pretty much a Metroidvania in and of itself. And I will say it's probably my preferred version of Web of Shadows because I know this is kind of an unpopular opinion, but I cannot stand the console version
Space
of that
Pirates. Space Pirates.
Sammy.
And so Ridley comes back home after another daily grind of killing anything out in space.
Because that's the issue, is that every single time we invade...
Oh.
I
hello.
represent the...
We represent.
He was the delegate ambassador, and you shot him on sight. Anyway,
if it looks ugly, shoot it.
also, that's the unfortunate thing, Sealy, is that every single time we go to a planet, it always just happens to be Ridley's base. Every time, it just happens to be his new home.
Not every time. There was a Metroid 2.
Oh, okay. That time he just was pissed.
Yep, real quick, stupid joke. James saying if it's ugly, James was saying like if it looks ugly, shoot it. Well, then it better not look at your mom.
That was a 90s old joke.
That really should just stay in the 90s.
Possibly. What was it? I was also thinking of freaking... that reminds me of actually a really fun anecdote I just remembered, which is that if you ever think that life isn't going your way or that, you're working hard and it just doesn't seem worth it, remember that there was a story, it had to be in like some third world country, I forget what it was, But it was a story of these two guys or so who were in prison, and they were trying to escape prison by doing the old Shawshank dig through the tunnel, dig through the wall kind of thing.
Actually, before you get on with your comment, for anyone watching this and are raging at me for missing the obvious item here or there, suck it up. This isn't going to be a 100% run. I'm just going to go get what I feel is necessary.
That's fair. Otherwise, we'd be here all day. We're here to talk about the gaming experience, not just perfect it all the time. But
yeah, we're no Metroid perfectionists.
Okay, we
got. At least I'm not anyway.
But yeah, so the idea was that
James.
Gosh.
But yeah, the idea was that they had been working on this tunnel for like I want to say
5 years.
I once heard 13, but that couldn't have been it. It probably was closer to like 5 or 8 years, maybe even 3 years, somewhere around there. They worked on this. Okay, I'll say this: they worked on this longer for 2 years. Longer than 2 years, they were working on this tunnel, and they finally broke through to the other side of the wall into a guard's break room.
Whoops!
I think
he really should have done his research a bit further.
I think I linked it to you a long time. Ago, hype. But yeah, just remember that whole thing of like you broke through a wall, those things like we finally made freedom, brothers. Boom. Ice beam.
That really is just so Looney Tunes, and I could say that because it reminds me of this one Looney Tunes where it's like Yosemite Sam's like the warden of this prison, and there's one point where Bugs tricks him into being in the jail, and Sam tries to like picket his way out, and he ends up being in like the office of his boss. Shoots.
But yeah.
On that note, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned for the next part of Zero Mission.
Bye.
When pressed for comments, the thieves had this to say. They should have taken that left turn at Albuquerque.